It's race day. Welcome, race fans, to a showcase of driving perfection. My name's Webbo, and let's get down trackside. Hold on tight, we're gonna go for it. Boom, that's how it's done. Whoa, easy. Surely not all the way around the outside. Oh yeah, we're cooking now. Shake and bake, baby. Shake and bake. This is a roller coaster of emotions. The drivers are pushing their machines to the limit and beyond. Woo, it doesn't get any better than that. We wait for the lights, the revs build and so does the excitement. And it's drop the clutch and go, go, go! Okay, driver, it's hammer time. This driver is an artist and the racetrack is their canvas. Did you see that? Did you see that? Wow! Let's watch it again. Ooh, hopefully they'll get away with that one. What a great start, and it looks like we can build on this now and really make a good race of it. There's the fastest lap, folks. No mercy on the menu today. Yeah, sideways is rarely ever faster, but you do get style points. And we roll the safety car dice. Leave them alone, they know what they're doing. Oh no, someone's gone bowling into turn one. What a shocker. Moving left, jinking right, keep them guessing. Lawn mowing as a side gig. And we go down the inside, Danny Rick style. We're on the edge of our seats here, folks. The racers are pushing their limits, risking it all for that coveted first place position and the all-important win. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The two cars ahead are fighting with each other. It's slowing them down. And through we go! That driver is a complete... not been invented to describe how complete and total they are. But they are one, and a complete and total one at that. And it all comes down to this, the final lap. If you smell what this driver is cooking. This seems like as good a time as any to ask if you've subscribed yet. There's your Grand Slam, pole, fastest lap, and the win!
Welcome, race fans, back to the channel, and happy race day to you all. As something a little bit different for you today, my name is Webbo here to bring you today's team battle between Deviant Racing and DPL. A very warm welcome to any new viewers, and hi to Rory Mustang, who's first in the live chat. Do make sure that if you're watching with us live, you check in with us, let us know who you're here to support, call out anything you see going on in the race so far, and as we develop through the course of the race, some absolutely beautiful sounding Porsches in the GT3 field today, echoing around the Armco and walls of this historic Watkins Glen racetrack that is the scene of a beautiful blue sky day here in upstate New York for today's battle between the two teams. Nothing particularly at stake other than the all-important bragging rights and team cohesion that a team versus team battle will bring you. So we're looking for the best team result, combined team result at the end of the day. I think just merely counted by positions rather than anything else. And the drivers are now just getting ready for the first session then of qualifying. So we're going to be watching everybody in intimate detail as they get out of the pit lane. Of course, Deviant racing in the red and black with white trim, and DPL are racing in predominantly blue with some awesome old school looking stripes on the cars as well. But we do have a little bit of a difference between those drivers. I'm not quite sure exactly why that is, but there is a little bit of variance there going on as this is John Kai's car, and we get very, very close up there to see the 2022 established date of Deviant Racing. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how they go. For those of you new to the channel, I have been with Deviant Racing for some time, so I do know the drivers pretty well on that side of the team battle today, but I will be as impartial as I can possibly muster for the sake, of course, of a good time here today for everybody. I do hope you're all looking forward to what will be a close fought battle here today. It already looks like the Deviant team a little bit in lockstep right now, looking good out there, and straight and first out on the track as well, which you would have to expect would take place. The drivers are ready, of course, for qualifying. It's only a 10-minute session, and quite often it's the very first flying lap that makes all the difference. Through the course of the commentary of Watkins Glen today, I'm going to be referring to the boot and various parts of the leg. You have to tilt your head 90 degrees to the right by the track map to see the boot and the knee and the back of the knee and everything, but that's how we will be referring to this as we head down into turn 1, which looks easy on paper. The change of gradient, the difficulty in navigating the exit point, which from a driver's eye view is out of their vision. So they do have to stay 2 wheels on the yellow and red curb at all times on the exit of that turn 1. They can't run super wide out onto the asphalt run out. The S section is straightforward. We've just been through that as we build the speed to the fastest point and then just scrub the tiniest bit of speed off into the bus stop, which is a right-left, left-right, before then getting through and into what is the front of the knee, essentially. That's the entry to the short track on the right hand side before heading deep into the ankle of the boot, and you can see the different profile and camber of these corners as we run through. This is John Kai leading from the front here at the on the Deviant Racing team. Windshield wipers set to the middle position for his absolute best options there. So I just need to organise something. I've forgotten to get a certain aspect ready for today's race. That's on me. I will will sort that out. But yeah, it's absolutely fantastic to see as we fly through both the heel and then the back of the knee into the penultimate corner, which is taken in 4th gear. Many of the corners today are a 4th gear corner. It is a very, very fast racetrack. As guest Leger, first Webbo stream, good to have you here. Now, there is a driver in the DPL stream called Moist, and I did spend a significant portion of my first part of my commentary career commentating over a driver called Moist. Whether they are one and the same, I have not heard from. Clyde Sparrow immediately into the provisional pole position then, and he goes on a 1:45.7. Komakopa yet to set a time. He goes 4th position, Komakopa then, as V-Cube, the Spaniard, comes across the line. Where will he set his time? Well, it's a 1:2 so far for Team DPL. Gerax, the Frenchman, will come through. Now, Moist is a British driver, so that does help to narrow down that he might well be the Moist that I know very well indeed. I used to call him Moist the Maestro because he was such a powerful force in the league we were part of. Mr. Snebstigan is the very quick team captain, I think, here of DPL, and he's in P3 at the moment. Team DPL have it all their own way. 1, 2, 3 ahead of Zen, Glovas, Komakopa, Jonkai, with Gerax down in 8th position. Beneath them at the moment, TX and Preston ahead of Kat Damasi, with Moist racing in the brighter green today. I don't know if this is a late call-up for DPL, but Moist in P12, Arsaito in 13th, and Roy Mustang, who basically is the organizer today. Roy Mustang Junior, I think it is, who is racing for DPL, our 10-year-old sensation here, the Dutchman. He is coming out of the toe of the boot right now, and he's on his first flying lap. Clyde Sparrow, V-Cube, John Kai goes temporarily into 3rd, but then is pit by Zen, who goes on a 1:45.343 up to provisional pole position with half the session already elapsed. It is flying by furiously. This is still the first flying lap, though, for our Roy Mustang Jr., or essentially Dad, the son of Dad and Son there. It's great to see him racing with us. Recently turned 11. I should apologise for that one, but he's only been racing about a year and can't actually reach the pedals fully with his heel down on the ground. He goes 2nd place. Oh, absolutely astounding. What fantastic timing as well to catch him as Mr. Snebs goes up into P3, Sparrow in P4, V-Cube 5th, Glovas 6th, Jonkai 7th, TX in 8th, Zen though still at the head of the field, and I think still on a hot lap. Let's get on board with Zen. Zen likes to get his hot laps in very early, generally speaking. That's a 1.6 second slower lap though from him. I think we've got various drivers on out laps and in lap runs. It looks like Tom there of the junior of Roy Mustang, Dad and Son. Many different names. My apologies. I will refer to everybody by their screen names as much as possible there. But this is Snebs, or Sneb, as he is in P3 at the moment. He's on a flying lap right now. Jonkai pits to get a new set of those super grippy soft tyres. So does Zen. Glovas. Looks like a very coordinated strategy from the Deviant team, as a driver just in front of Snebs is currently just warming the tyres. That is a Deviant car as well. We absolutely hope for no contact during qualifying. Naturally, we want to see the very best of everybody. The clouds are gathering, but it shouldn't be too problematic. A very low, a low speed wind on the track as well today. So an absolutely perfect day for going racing. Into the penultimate corner comes Snebs. Will he be staying right to enter the pit lane? He's going to go for the traditional racing line here. Oh, the rear of the Porsche getting very light. We actually make the lightest of contact with the barrier, so Snebs will not be setting a hot lap through here. It's still Zen from the son of Dad and Son ahead of Snebs, and Clyde Sparrow will join Clyde on board, shall we, and see what his first sector looks like coming through the S's and heading in towards the bus stop. Oh, it's very close to his best, within a 1/10 of a second of his best, and again the rear end of the 992 Porsche getting lively and he's just trying to get this one nice and under control. But I would imagine this has just stolen a little bit of time. He was already a 10th down almost, as Kuros Kai and Izzy are here as well to cheer them on. Izzy, one of my channel members, as is Roy Mustang. My gratitude to all of you guys who are on Team Webbo. Here with the channel membership. It's Clyde Sparrow coming out of the toe of the boot, and he's absolutely even to the nearest 0.002 of a second to where he was going through sector 1. That's absolutely remarkable given his slidey run through the bus stop. He's really struggling with understeer on the exits of these fast flowing Watkins Glen corners through the back of the knee, and he's now dropped a little bit further. TX goes into 4th position. It's now Zen, Sun, Sneb, TX. So a pair of each team drivers in the top 4. Clyde Sparrow then could make it an all third row for DPL. He actually goes on to row 2, and he does post a personal best final sector and a personal best lap as well. Let's have a look at how Zen is doing. Is he on an out lap right now? No, Zen is actually on a flyer. So let's see if Zen can hang on to this one with brand new soft tyres on. He's brought them in from an out lap. And he's full pedal to the metal down this long back straightaway, but he's slightly below, just 0.2 of a second over his absolute best. It's not a comfortable pole at this time though. He's only 85 thousandths of a second clear of Dad and Son Tom, our youngest driver here, the 11-year-old. Can he put all these adult racers behind him? Let's have a look at his first sector then on what is definitely his final lap. Hopefully we've got enough overage for to capture these laps. The engine note is screaming. I think because the sun's gone in, I think the track has gone away, and he's packed in. He said, you know what, I'm not going to recover from a 1/4 of a second back. Here is Mr. Sneb. And we'll see how his lap is going as well. I just want to cut quickly over to Zen. How is Zen doing as he comes through the back of the knee to come through the penultimate sector of the racetrack? That was a top lap from John Kai, goes 4th ahead of Clyde, and this is a slower lap then confirmed from Zen. It won't be a new extended pole position, so it is possible for these drivers to get on board with that particular pole position time of 1:45.343. Snebs is only 0.2 of a way. A 1/10 of a second away as Globas goes into 5th. Oh, that's a huge snap through the back of the knee, and that was a loss of a good 0.2 of a second, if not more. Mr. Snebs will not recover that in the final sector. We'll see. Well, let's try and find another driver who might still be pushing. Here is V-Cube. V-Cube coming through and out of the final corner. Might get a tow off a teammate down the long backs. Start finish straight, but no, the track has gone away from our great racers here. I'm sorry to say, that's the end of our qualifying session, and it is Zen, Dadenson, and Sneb who steal the top 3 positions. There is Moist, and I do just want to check if this is the Moist I know. Let's have a look. I don't know for sure. I commentated over a Moist a lot for many years. Anyway, here we go. Zen ahead of Dadenson and Mr. Sneb, Clyde Sparrow, John Kai, Glovas. And you can see how the teams lay out. Deviant with pole, DPL with the next 3 positions, and then it's back to Deviant again. So it's 4 of each in the top 8. Fantastic to see everybody out there. And then outside of the top 8, starting near the back of the grid, will be Comacopa, Gerax. 2 Frenchmen actually will share row 5. Comacopa, a Frenchman transplanted over to the United States. Preston and Kat Damasi in the 6th row with Moist and Saito starting at the back of the grid. So I think Saito might have been a reserve today in for Vic, who was possibly the first choice driver. I think that was the information that I received, but that could well be just a false memory of mine. This is the qualifying then. Zed, Dadenson and Sneb. So a great qualifying session for them. And we see a little bit of, variance when it comes to the livery choices, but predominantly bluey green colours are DPL, and Deviant, at least in design, are in lockstep. Everybody representing in the proper official unadjusted or uncustomized livery. DPL giving their drivers that little bit of extra I guess we would say latitude to do what they want. We have a 50-minute race ahead of us. It is not with a safety car, but we will see, I'm sure, teamwork featuring as part of this one. I'll have a quick check of the tyres and fuel, 4 times each for those two, and I just want to be sure we have to use hard and mediums. There we go. Okay, I did manage to get that information just before we headed towards the run here to start the race. So it's Zen and Dad and Son, and on the front, surrounded behind by DPL drivers, as we get a little flash of the lights from one of the Deviant races at the back there. But Zen is going to try and own the front of the grid here as he will start the race. It's time to go racing for this team versus team battle. Let's drop the clutch and it's go, go, go. The Tamiya sponsors 44 car of Mr. Snebs getting the best launch of anybody, I think, and right up there and level with the front group as it's Zen is squeezed between two blue cars. Mr. Snebs goes outside, low side, and back underneath to have DPL stealing both the first and second positions as they run through the S's here for the first time of asking. But Zen is on his way back here and got the power down a little bit more comfortably on the higher grip outside exit of turn 1 and through the S's as we run on. It's Mr. Snebs in P3, it's Clyde Sparrow in P4, but it is Dad and Son's Tom who goes into the lead of the race out there on the medium tyres as well with Zen, and there's a big slide from Snebs coming into the right-hander after the bus stop as they all file through. Looks like we have got ourselves away very, very well and very cleanly. Everybody playing particularly nicely. V-Cube, the big loser, though, on this start, and so is Kat Damasi, who've both dropped all the way back to the final 2 positions. But there goes Preston, posted into the barrier. Unfortunately, we'll have a quick recheck of that one as Preston was possibly getting caught in the dirt yet. And then he did get a little bit of a smack in the rear as well as he tries to get the power down, but the car just continually understeering on him as they run through. But as they've come out of the heel of the boot, it's still Son of Dad and Son in the lead of the race ahead of Zen, and then 2 DPL cars, Mr. Snebs and Clyde Sparrow, with John Kai, Globus, Speedstars, and Gerax there as well. Guess says Dad and Son switch teams when? Well, I believe they were always planning to be in DPL, but you may well have different information from me. But Mr. Snebs, what an exit from the final corner for Mr. Snebs! Wow, absolutely outstanding. Let's have another look at this. Oh, it was grass on Zen's tyres. And then he ends up in the barrier, and Mr. Snebs just pacing himself really well on the way through there, clairvoyant enough to see what was going to happen to Zen. So Zen from pole down 2 positions. Deviant no longer in the front 2 positions and about to lose P3, it looks like, with Clyde Sparrow certainly challenging hard on the way into the bus stop, but Zen braking later, far more brave on the way into the corner there and running through the order. It looks like we've just got Saito on the hard tyres with Moist and Preston as well, and no surprise to see Preston on those hards after what we saw at the start of the race, struggling away through this very corner on lap 1. So we have Snebs behind Dad and Son, with Zen all on those medium tyres, with Clyde Sparrow in 4th, followed by John Kai also on those medium tyres, running through the toe of the boot out onto the dust and the dirt that gets worn away year by year here at Watkins Glen, and they have to lay more asphalt behind the drivers, wearing away that track. But Clyde Sparrow with a little bit of lag on the car, it has to be said, or is that Zen actually? Looks like Zen's car is the most most laggy today. We'll just if we watch from his perspective, it probably looks, everyone else looks janky, and they do a little bit. Dad and Son has lost the lead of the race, and I think that was a coordinated effort between Snebs and Dad and Son. That might well have been a team captain instruction over the radio. I'm sure our racers are in team radio with each other. Snebs now getting away here, perhaps feeling like he didn't get the qualifying that he was hoping for, but somewhat ironic, really, that team captain is wearing different colours from the rest of his crew, with the exception of Moist there. But it is Snebs ahead of Daddenson with Zen in P3, as the drivers are just trying to enter the point now on the race where they get a comfortable gap to the car in front or behind of them and try to look after their tyres as much as possible. That was a touch of dirt on the tyres, perhaps for Daddenson, who perhaps just drifted out to the outside slightly. What's Daddenson up to? Because he is getting closer and closer here to the back of Snebs. I wonder if he's feeling like he shouldn't have given that place over. I'm pretty sure Roy Mustang Senior is watching very closely and is engineering in the background here for his son. Try and make sure that everybody is going through this one as well as possible. But possibly Mr. Snebs is feeling like he's just now needing to look after the car after making up places from the start to make the strategy work. But Daddenson is uncomfortably close to the back of his team captain. Zen, Sparrow, Junkai, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Behind them, TX Speedstars, then Glovas for a Deviant Racing triplicate. Then comes Gerax with his compatriot but different team adversary, Komakopa, down in P9 on the hard tyres. Look out for Komakopa later, though, because those hard tyres, of course, will switch out to the softs, and I think we'll be looking at a one-stop strategy today. No safety car for regular Deviant Racing fans with us today. We are not operating a mid-race safety car. V-Cube looking very, very close and likely to make a manoeuvre here. He's got a slightly different livery as well as V-Cube. He's got a couple of those stripes on the car, but he's gone for a little look down the inside on the medium tyres. He's got a slight grip advantage at this point, but it is absolutely anybody's guess as they run through here. They are side by side. They're trying to give each other enough racing room, bearing in mind that there's a little bit of lag between the two cars. Komakopa slightly behind, but V-Cube definitely has the run, but Komakopa just nudging the car, just making sure V-Cube knew he was still alongside him there, and he needed a little bit more space because, as the Kimoa owner on the back of V-Cube's car will attest, all the time you have to leave the space. It's Saito in 11th, Preston in 12th, with Kat Damasi right with him. Moisto at the back of the grid right now. His Amazon car not delivering at the moment, but let's see if that happens later on. Still struggling with understeer through the left-hander is Moist, and just posting the car slightly into the barrier. He's gone for car number 404, which is a very interesting choice. But anyway, the gap at the front has now opened out to nearly 2 seconds, Mr. Snebs, and you see a nice little four-wheel drift coming from Dad and Son there on the exit of the back of the knee here. And as Izzy says, it's a super close field throughout. It is very, very close and very enjoyable. Dad and Son coming through the final corner, trying to make sure he keeps Zen well behind. He's used to racing, of course, with Zen, and I'm sure there's a lot of trust between these drivers, even on different teams, because form recognises form, I think, when it comes to Deviant versus DPL. Clyde Sparrow in P4, also on those medium tyres, as the medium tyre group very much are starting to drift away here from the hard tyre group, as you would expect. 42 minutes just over left to go. Dexter Pippa's laboratory, we would say laboratory here in the UK, but laboratory for our American viewing audience is the name of Dexter of the DPL. That is what the acronym stands for, which are the pet names of literally the names of the cats of the owner of the league. So that's where all that comes from. Deviant Racing League. I have no idea actually, other than there are a whole bunch of deviants that the race here at Deviant. So good to get that little bit of history. My thanks to Roy Mustang Senior for his help with all of that. But a predominantly European group naturally here in DPL. versus the predominantly Americans at Deviant. We've got a smattering of Canadians and one Frenchman who lives out in Florida. It's Junkai though, 5th position at the moment. Let's join Junkai on board and see just how this Porsche is handling right now. Should be still in a pretty good sweet spot, but not particularly comfortable through that corner. We saw one wheel on the grass there on the exit for Zen at the early part of the race that we just saw on Clyde Sparrow's car. Looking behind, and we can see that we've got a nice rear gunner, a couple of rear gunners here for Junkai in terms of his teammates. Remember that you can keep those right-hand tyres on the most outside edge of the red and yellow curbs here at Watkins Glen. But full on the throttle, and the catch fencing really seems to come on at you quite considerably. This is Clyde Sparrow then chasing down Zen's 3rd position as they head on into the bus stop. Zen may well be preserving his tyres at this stage. Looks like Dad and Son and Mr. Snebs not too bothered about tyre wear at this stage. I think they're quite happy with their strategy. Whether anybody has to risk a 2-stopper today remains to be seen. If we can get 1/3 of the race distance through with the medium tyres, then they'll be fairly confident that the hard tyres will run the remaining 2. Junior was supposed to defeat the Sith, not join them. You're going to ask me to bring out my Obi-Wan impression now. If you quote Obi-Wan, you'll end up with Webbo having to do his impression of him. That's TX Speedstars in P6 and Glovas in 7th. Gerax in P8 with V-Cube close behind right now as well. Gerax in the turquoise variant and V-Cube in the light Astorian blue version of the livery as well, with pink accents here for DPL. Komakopa back in P10 on the hard tyres with Saito, Kat Damasi, then Saito, Preston and Moist at the back there with the blue splitter green livery, almost Lotus reminiscent green and yellow combination. Mr. Snebs holding on to that 2-second livery there. Obi-Wan, yes, very good. So yeah, if you want to, I will definitely do an Obi-Wan impression in return for a super thanks or a chat sticker today. Super chat sticker. I've been needing it for season 5.2, says Izzy. Okay, good stuff. It's Mr. Snebs, Dad and Son ahead of Zen and Clyde Sparrow right now. Clyde in the 77 as they run on out onto the dirt of the ankle of the boot here. A very, very smart retro inspired livery. I do really like this one. I think it goes without saying that I'm enjoying the livery of the Deviant team as well. But this one does have a very cool kind of 80s style to it, and I'm enjoying it. These Porsches look and sound absolutely fantastic, and it's great to have a single make challenge here as well. Junkai in 5th position right now. Can see see 3 of the 4 cars that are ahead of him at the moment. You can see 3 cars behind him as well. But at the moment, there's this great group of medium runners, the fast guys, the top 7 drivers. 5.6 seconds the gap between the top 7 and then Gerax, Komakopa, Kat Damasi, that group with a further gap behind of the tail 2 runners at this stage. But Gerax is on the mediums. Komakopa, the lead hard runner, would you believe, 17.4 seconds behind the leader of the race ultimately. But biding his time and planning and waiting for his opportunity to shine later on, and he'll enjoy switching to the higher grip medium tyres later on in today's race. There you can see the French tricolor flag on the helmet of Komakopa, just about, with a bit of a skull effect as well. Very nice indeed. We've got a bit of a Spider-Man thing going on for Kat Damasi on the helmet design. Love to see it. It's great to see as well. And you can see that V-Cube has added some DPL aspects to his livery, but he's definitely gone rogue today. As V-Cube. It's Saito in P12, Preston in P13. So they are going to be working together here to try and bring themselves forward. Moist also on those hard tyres as he continues to try and rebuild this race as much as possible. Let's join him on the gyro cam for a moment, shall we? While there's reasonable gaps between everybody else, trying to get a good look at his helmet design, but unfortunately the seat shape of the kind of blinker effect of the seat shape is somewhat difficult for me to see his helmet on this camera angle. Anyway, let's go back to the lead of the race then. It's currently 2.3 seconds. The two DPL cars ahead, and it very much looks... Oh, Dad and Son around through the difficult corner, and he's reversed into his teammate as well. And I think that's just a little bit of panic from our youngest driver here as we head into turn one. This is so easy to do, especially in a Porsche. The rear of the car coming around on him, and then the worst thing here was a reverse. Oh, I think we were all right. No, we're not. Wow. Okay, so there's it definitely affected Zen as well. Zen was caught out by what was going on in front of him. We'll just check that out again from Zen's perspective. This is a replay of Zen's trip through turn one. Full speed, braking heavily. The yellow flag is already flying. I think maybe that little reversing action that we saw from Dad and Son might have caused Zen to just swerve across. Zen crosses in front of two cars as well on his rejoin. There's not much you can do once you hit the barrier, but holding still until the drivers are past you is probably the most sensible course of action. But yeah, very unexpected to see that happen. But it's still DPL 1 and 2, but the characters have changed slightly. It's Mr. Snebs still ahead, now by 8.6 seconds of Clyde Sparrow, with John Kai in third position. And yeah, well, a big surprise there at this early portion of the race. That front left is starting to give up. We should see fairly even fairly even tyre usage and miss, and that is Clyde Sparrow headed towards pit road. Might have just touched over the yellow line. We will see once he's done. But the very first pit stop then at the end of lap 10, or is it the start of lap 10? I think it might be the start of lap 10 for Clyde Sparrow. Gerax comes in as well behind him, and they'll need plenty of fuel to get them home on a one-stop strategy here. I imagine this is a set of hard tyres going on. He hasn't quite fueled to the very brim of the tank, so I imagine he feels like he can get this car to the end of the race. Just check out that tyre decision and whether there's a penalty on the car as well. But all change at the front through the course of lap 9 and 10. Clyde Sparrow then on his way out of the pit lane. It is one to be very, very cautious about, and he's out. And Clyde has come out on a second set of medium tyres. Remember that hard tyres are required today. The medium and the hard tyres are required. I hope all the drivers were briefed and fully aware of our racing rules today, but that surprises me slightly. He'll have to run the hards very, very late into our race. Mr. Snebs leading the race, and he also leads DPL's all-time standings in wins and points. And he's apparently a very keen time trialist as well. So, and a Lewis fan, as the car number 44 would reveal to you. So into the pit lane he comes, and that is the end of his run, as the mediums were about 60% worn on that front left for Mr. Snebs. Here comes John Kai, not pitting this time. John Kai, he's been looking after the fuel and the front left a little bit, maybe thinking about extending to that one stop as he continues through and over the line to start his lap 11. It's now deviant 1, 2, 3 on the racetrack there. John Kai, TX and Zen. Of course, these drivers haven't pitted. Glovas goes into 4th. Komakopa into 5th on the hard tyres. Remember, he was 17 seconds away from the outright leader, probably more like 18 by the time Snebs came in. but of course has not pitted and will not pit for some time. I think he will drain the tank here and then try and come home on one set of medium tyres at the end of the race. The deeper we get into this race length, the more likely it is that our medium starters will run a one-stop, but my estimation here is that Komakopa will one-stop this race, as will anyone who started on the hard. So we could end up with everybody together who hasn't yet had an accident or penalties, so to speak. Here comes Mr. Snebs, 26.4 seconds away. He's also gone for a second set of the medium tyres and a full tank of fuel, which I often question, because if you're going for a sprint stint, as it were, then you want the minimum amount of fuel you can get away with, I would have thought, if you're using a softer compound of tyres. But it all works out in the end in terms of stationary time, but you're going to carry that weight around while you're trying to sprint, and you've got that clear air. So it's all important now, those times. Currently, Mr. Snebs, the fastest lap so far of anybody, of 46.299. His last lap before his pit stop of 47.0. So that was still very impressive in terms of his metronomic pace. Not just a single lap time trialist, it would seem. Obviously a driver who has both strengths to his driving capabilities. The 77 of Clyde Sparrow on brand new mediums, he's pushing hard, and that little circular area in grey on the hood of the Porsche is where the fuel tank entry is. Of course, in a rear engine, rear wheel drive car, the fuel tank has to be in the front, or the front trunk, as it were. So that is why the car tends to protect its front tyres more than your typical centre or rear fuel tank race cars. Of course, everybody racing the same Porsche 992 GT3 today. It's dad and son in P8. One little snafu so far, which was a little oversteer moment. I think that means 11 on his race number. It's a very stylized numeral font there. Oh, very pushing very, very hard is dad and son through the bus stop. That could be lag. Just watching him drift ever so slightly, and you do tend to get cars looking very good going through the bus stop nonetheless. Staying on the red and yellow curbs is Gerax, as you have to do through that bus stop. Preston in 11th, has not pitted, is on the hard tyres. Kat Damasi has pitted, has switched on to the hard tyres, and that looks like an Irish flag, is it? Or no, that's an Indian flag on the exit and on the end plate, and I think there's a Argentinian end plate on this side of the car as well. There it is. So an Argentinian Indian heritage, possibly driver. I don't know for sure, but yeah, very very good. Let's get some Texas screen time. I'm being asked from Guess. Guess you could always ask nicely. It's V-Cube in 13th on the new hard tyres. It's Moist in 14th on the new medium tyres. That's early to switch off the hards onto the mediums. Junkai TX, here he is in P2, 1.1 seconds separating the deviant drivers, and TX is sliding around on these medium tyres, desperately trying to get as much as possible through the bus stop and use as much of those tyres and as little of the race distance on the hards as he can get away with. TX will be sliding through this lap by the look of that front left. This Watkins Glen circuit, very, very right-hand turn dominating, so it hurts the left axle. All the weight of the car shifts onto the left side, of course, through a right-hander, and there's plenty of trail braking and acceleration zones going through these left-hand corners as well. So yeah, it really does punish the car and the tyres. I'll be hoping his Dunlop tyres, they are Dunlops now in the race. They've got Firestone sponsorship on the side of the Deviant race cars, but they are Dunlops for everybody. Still not coming into the pits. Now this is a question of, is it brave or is it Well, the other thing, to stay out with the tyres in that condition, Zen has already had a spill. And he's still running on those mediums that are even more worn than TX. Let's have a look at those latest times. 48.002 for Glovas, 48.4 for Zen. Glovas typically gets quicker relatively as the stints wear on. Zen a 48.4. TX of 48.3 and Junkai the fastest of all out front of 48.2 on the previous laps, but it looks like Junkai is playing this a little bit softer, a little bit more carefully on this probably final lap before the pit stop. It's lap 14. We are 15 minutes into a 50-minute race. So if that all makes perfect sense, it's a difficult thing to say over audio. But Junkai leading by 0.8 of a second only now. This will be helping TX regain any time he loses in the turns, thanks to the dirty air of the car in front and the poorer tyre wear he has suffered. Junkai could potentially... Oh, Zen almost snapping the car round. Said it was a risk. Was that Zen or was that TX? I think, looking back at it, I think that was TX, right? Let's have a look. Did we see the car in front snake on the way out here? Trying to get that power down, but he's going to touch the dirt. It was TX. So he loses a little bit of ground. Now this could all be absolutely crucial later on in the race. Remember, while the drivers out front are battling hard here to keep their cars on the racetrack, the drivers who were previously in the front, Mr. Snebs here, as the deviant drivers do go, they are on fresh medium tyres and putting in a great run. Komakopa could really be doing his team a service by holding up Mr. Snebs as much as possible. Komakopa on the older hard tyres, he dives into the pit lane. That's the kind of teamwork I was expecting to see here. Was drivers holding each other up and trying to back up the pack. Here comes Mr. Snebs to resume the lead of our race. Clyde Sparrow driving past all the deviant pitting cars as well, but I think the deviant drivers much more likely to be on one stops after stopping so late at the end of lap 14, whereas naturally the drivers here for DPL who've gone medium have to stop again to use the hard tyres before the end of our race. There are just under 24 minutes left to go. Snebs, Clyde Sparrow, Dad and Son, an all DPL 1-2-3 ahead of now Junkai, who has come out on the hard tyres, and TX not far behind him, losing about a second TX with that big slide and the pit stop difference. Junkai was using slightly less fuel there as well. That looks slightly off from Glovas coming out of the S's. He's just testing his tyres there on the way into the bus stop. Needs to get that done before the braking zone, ideally. Preston's in 8th. Kat Damasi is Preston on the old hard tyres. Kat Damasi coming through towards that bus stop on the new hard tyres. That's right, the new hard tyres as well for Kat Damasi. So difference in strategy throughout the field here for our DPL drivers. A couple of the deviants are running hard to medium. Most of the deviants are running medium to hard, one stops. But I think they've designed this race so that it is just on the edge of being a secure one stop. But an aggressive two-stop should bring you into contention here. Preston doing the job right now and keeping Kat Damasi behind him as Komakopa starts to close in. Komakopa going in on the end of that lap as well to pick up new set of medium tyres, and that's going to be a real challenge. 23 minutes on the mediums is going to be on the outside edge of what's possible, as well as you've had to start a brand new a full tank of fuel as well, so there'll be a little bit of fuel saving if we're going to one stop this. Moist is in 11th, having pitted. V-Cube clearly having a problem there, or at least Moist, having pitted slightly earlier off his hard tyres onto mediums, managed to make an undercut on his teammate. Saito's down in 13th. We've lost one driver, unfortunately. But it's Mr. Snebs ahead of Clyde Sparrow. 5.2 seconds between them. Almost 2 seconds between Clyde Sparrow and Dad and Son. So naturally, a 10-second gap between Dad and Son and the leader. Then a further 10 seconds back to Junkai. who needs to close this gap in now, as the medium tyres of the lead pair will be in worse condition than the hard tyres of Junkai. He will just be watching the clock and the stopwatch to the drivers in front of him and hoping that he can reel them in and be in contention when they stop again. And we know that they have to stop again or they will take a draconian penalty at the end of the race for not fulfilling the race controls direction, which is to change compound. All the three of those at the front of the race have gone medium, and may just be using the hards for a couple of laps right at the end of the race, feeling like they perhaps couldn't get the fuel fitted, the fuel to run all the way through the race with one refuel, so they have to go for an extra splash and dash and a change of tyres, so they might as well minimize the time they spend on the hard tyres. Who will be right? It's going to be very, very difficult for us to tell that. It's the first three are DPL, the next 4-5 cars are deviants. Here is Komakopa on those medium tyres. He is going to have to tiptoe on around this Watkins Glen track, especially those long right-hander corners. Really not put the power down as early as he wants to, not put as much of his of the energy through that left hand of the car that he would want to, because those mediums are going to struggle to make the end of the race. Hi to Hervas, who is watching on instead of preparing for his upcoming race, which you'll see on the SVR channel very soon. Kadamasi in P9 ahead of V-Cube in P10 and Moist in 11th. Just realised I've got a pretty tight turnaround for that race to come, so I hope you guys will be able to wait for me if I can't get the stream on in time. It's Moist in 11th, it's R Saito in 12th, and it's Preston in 13th on a brand new set of medium tyres here. Mr. Snebs leads by 6.4 seconds from Clyde Sparrow, and behind him, the third DPL driver, it's Dad and Son in P3. So Junkai has lost time on the hard tyres to the group in front. He's now 23.5 seconds away from Mr. Snebs, 13 seconds away from Dad and Son. But the four deviant drivers in a line here down that back stretch are Girac saying, bonsoir everyone. Frenchman here that got desynced. I do apologise. So a mechanical breakdown for Girac. He is our missing driver. So it is 6 DPLs versus 7 deviants, and you can see the deviants really working together now. And they'll be on the radio together. Glovas will be saying, Zen catching. We're going to pass. There we go. So Girac saying that he may have hit Preston, and that might be the reason why Preston is quite far behind everybody else this stage. It's not a huge distance, but in this team versus team battle, it might as well be. Beautiful livery from I'm guessing Glovas designed this one, but he hasn't put his motto on the back, so it might not be a Glovas design. He is a prodigious livery designer there at Deviant. Further back, there's Komakopa. Can't see his rivals ahead because they are 16 seconds in front, but Komakopa is on a bit of a go-slow tour here to try and bring those mediums home safely. Kat Damasi in 9th position. Again, very much on his own. A further 16 seconds back to V-Cube and Moist, two DPL drivers. Continuing, then we've got Saito in 12th. Further 9 seconds back, and then 7 seconds back, and 1 minute 21 from the lead is Preston out there. But of course, it's DPL 1, 2, 3. It's the next 5 drivers are deviant racers. And hi to Dummy as well. Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. We'll have the important races for SVR coming up, but for now, our focus is on which team will prosper today. I can't imagine that it will be 1, 2, 3 for DPL, but the question is who can actually get the outright win, and we will wait to see. Now, there are different ways of running a team versus team battle. One is to attribute points, much like, say, an F1 race to various finishing positions and then count them up. The other is to just like a kind of a golf score, just basically take the order, and whoever averages better and with the lowest score wins. And then the other thing is like a team time trial in cycling. It's the rearmost finisher of the team that is the victor, essentially the furthest forward last finisher of a team. So we will see, or maybe even the fourth of, say, 5 or 6 drivers. There are various ways of counting a team versus team battle, but Roy Mustang tells me it is purely just a race for bragging rights out here. So here are our 4 deviants running: Junkai, TX, Zen, and Globas, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th position, all on the same strategy. Dad and son wearing through his second set of mediums here. We're nearing the final 15 minutes of our race, and we have run 2 sets of mediums, the front 3 drivers. The next 5 have run a medium and then a hard, sorry, the next 4 have run a medium and then a hard tyre, and Comacopa has done the opposite of that. So I'll get a good close look at the official livery, shall we? You can see some great little details on here. Plenty of Dutch Jumbo and KLM City Hopper, and then a Dutch company I can't hope to pronounce correctly. I'm not even going to try. Followed by Booking.com. Very good, but yeah, like I say, a very cool livery design here. This is the Dutch version, I think. I don't think we've gone for any German brands on Clyde Sparrow's car. What have we done in terms of this one? We've gone for Tamiya, the Japanese model maker, for Mr. Snebs on his car. And then back to Deviant, like I say, matching liveries for everybody here at Deviant. And I don't see, normally Glovas will put, if it's not fun, why do it, or why bother, on his car. A big thank you to them for the little Webbo sticker on the front wing as well. I appreciate that, and the rear quarter as well. Thank you so much. Very, very grateful for that. Let's just have a look back to see where we have any other variants. So harder, better, faster, stronger for Cat Damasi. And like I say, we've got an Argentinian end plate here, and then on the other side, oh, I think it might be Irish. Looking at it now, I think that is Irish Argentinian. An unusual combination there for him. Moist is back in the pits in his Amazon livery, so he's getting his second pit stop done, as is Clyde Sparrow right now as well. Our leader, Mr. Snebs, 11.2 seconds in the lead, and as we often see with race leaders, just cruising at this stage out there. He does need to keep an eye on his delta back to the first of the deviants, which is Junkai, because Junkai, he's got hard tyres for days. Has he got fuel for the end of the race? Is a question I've got here. So going back across the turn 1, he goes. Clyde Sparrow slipping down to 7th position. This is the important one, really, because this is Clyde Sparrow's 2-stop, and how it has performed relative to Comacopa's 1-stop. But I do think Comacopa, another 12 minutes on those mediums is a big challenge he's got. So Clyde Sparrow out 2.7, 2.5, 2.3 seconds, as of course Clyde Sparrow will continue to lose time with the slower exit out of the pit lane. Now turn 1 for Comacopa. Coma will see him, and now Comacopa may get the instruction from his team: you need to pass as soon as possible while he's warming up his new hard tyres, because Clyde Sparrow could feature on the podium if anyone in front of them has problems. So Comacopa needs to do a team job here if possible. 1.5 seconds that time is dropping down to Clyde Sparrow for Comacopa there. The sun glinting off his Porsche 992 as he makes his way through the ankle of the boot, heading down towards the toe, which is an uphill spiraling hairpin profile, multiple bumps and patchwork asphalt, together with a very tricky blind exit over some grass clippings. and heading up and over the crest down towards the heel of the boot. We've got Mr. Snebs and Daddenson stopping on this lap as well. Daddenson ran all the way to 0 litres of fuel. Took it very, very tight there to the end of the race. I think the racers are just coming upon Moist right now to put a lap on Moist as Junkai takes the lead of the race for Deviant. Glovas, TX, all following through, as is Zen. Zen on the hard tyres as well. He is. So Deviant are 1, 2, 3, 4. Mr. Snebs has come out behind them on a new set, but of the same compound of tyre. So he won't have a huge performance difference. He is going to have to do quite the job right now in the remaining 11 minutes of our race to overtake and get his lead back, turning what is possibly not the best strategy, a two-stopper, around here. He can see his target in front. 2.3 seconds is probably just outside. Whoa, great slide from Snebs. It's probably just outside, I was going to say, the slipstream options. And as Larry says, how the turns table, absolutely. I was promised an appearance from you, Larry, from Roy Mustang. He told me you would be with us today. But you're not willing to slum it in iRacing, from iRacing, to be with us, it seems. Or maybe you were a reserve and there wasn't a spot. Next race, says Larry. Awesome. Fantastic. Well, I'll try and catch up with that later. We've got Junkai, Glovas, TX and Zen. If anyone wants to drop the link for the follow-on race 2, then do so. I haven't seen it anywhere. Why on controller, Larry? Does your Sim Magic not work on GT7 anymore, or are you away from home? Clyde Sparrow in 6th, Comma Coper in 7th. So Comma hasn't quite caught Clyde Sparrow, but hasn't let him get too far ahead, as Mr. Snebs is a further 9 seconds up the road. At the moment, it's Deviant 1, 2, 3, 4. DPL 5th and 6th, then back to Deviant for 7th, and Dad and Son there for DPL in 8th position. So right now, it's looking like our drivers are going to be securing a Deviant win here at race 1. But Chaotic saying next round is for the common man. What are you referring to here, Larry? Have you literally sold your sim gear? That cannot be true. Cannot be true. Yes, in the mines of Moria. Saito in P9, Preston in 10th, Cat Damasi in 11th, V-Cube in 12th, Moist at the back of the grid, just being overtaken here, and let's hope that this all goes very smoothly. We'll stay with Moist for a bit because this is where the peril might be sitting. He's on relatively new medium tyres. This could be a new team opportunity here for the Amazon sponsored Moist, who may or may not be a racer I commentated over at the Invictus Racing League. Sorry, not Invictus, a different racing league whose name escapes me at the moment. Diving down the inside goes Glovas then from 2nd position. Brand new tyres there on board. It was the International Racing League, the other IRL, that I commentated over a driver called Moist for many seasons, and he was back-to-back champion there on the F1 game. Whether this is the same Moist or not, it would be somewhat happenstance if it is, but I can't imagine Moist being particularly common tag. Anyway, TX in P3, he'll be the next one to have to overtake the bright green DPL car. Again, the rear axle on these hard tyres just sliding slightly. 7.5 minutes remain to us. Junkai, Glovas, TX and Zen for Deviant Racing League are the top 4 drivers here. Mr. Snebs trying to put in some good times. 48.245 plays Zen's 48.497. It's a good delta. It's not a good enough delta in terms of time to retake the podium even, let alone the lead of the race. A 2-stop versus a 1-stop here for the four Deviant leaders, and it is confirmed it is Tom, our junior racer, who is repping in the Dad and Son rig today. Mr. Snebs in 5th, Clyde Sparrow in 6th, with Comma Coper in 7th position. Dad and Son he was for a hot minute there in P2 at the start of the race. Yeah, just one little oversteer moment going through the front of the knee just after the bus stop for Dad and Son. No, it was turn 1. Excuse me, it was turn 1. And Zen came a little bit unglued as well, following him through. Mr. Snebs, the gap in front to Zen, 1.3 seconds as Junkai, Glovas, TX still occupy those positions. Do I bowl? I have been known to bowl badly, poorly, I should say. It's not something I do frequently. Chaotica, yeah. The traditional 10-pin bowling, rather than diving down into turn 1 and clearing out lots of drivers, Valtteri Bottas style. No, I'm not a keen bolster. Particularly, I tend to enjoy the first round, and then after that, I just get a bit bored of the experience. But there you go. And I also tend to score really well in my first round, and then just get progressively worse when I'm bowling. But there you go. That's probably very similar to my sim racing as well. Peak early and never revisit those heights. Junkai, Glovas, Zen, top 3. Mr. Snebs has now cleared TX. So TX did pick up a problem there on the run through. Just try and see if I can. I was hoping that TX would get into some shenanigans with Mr. Snebs, but he hasn't been able to. So Snebs in P4 is now just 1.5 seconds away from Zen. Moist is doing everything to get out of his teammate's way. Moist could not have been more frightened of upsetting Mr. Snebs than he clearly was at that moment. So he's up to 4th now and knocking on the door of the podium with 4 minutes and 30 seconds just about left to go before the checkered flag will come out for this team versus team battle. As things stand, I'm pretty certain it will be going the way of Deviant here, taking the entire podium. Well, how will Mr. Snebs fare here? He's putting in a 147.9 with an overtake on that lap. Zen a 148.9. That is a huge delta, as Zen is possibly feeling the pressure now and needing to get Glovas to keep him in the slipstream and push. So we'll see what the drivers can do. Do you know, I have seen some interesting Deviant teammate work in the past. Not against any rules, but some very innovative runs. Maneuvering. I wouldn't put it past Deviant to just run 3 abreast on the final lap of the race, just to make sure no one can pass. But we shall see if we get a cool formation finish as well. Zen is definitely putting the hurry up here as he improves his sector to within just over 1/10 of his absolute best right now. Clearly seeing that turquoise Mr. Snebs DPL car chasing him down is lighting a fire underneath Zen. We'll see if we can get him get into a battle, but Mr. Snebs now 0.5 of a second, very, very close to an opportunity to make a pass on the car in front. Let's follow that progress. Zen obviously not making the apex as easily on his old hard tyres, and he may now elect to weave across to the inside here. I think he's trusting that Mr. Snebs isn't going to dive bomb him and try and surprise him, but again away from the apex, just trying to do what he does normally, and the car is not responding in the way it normally does. A good half a car width away from his ultimate ideal positioning on the racetrack. That's just the understeer and trying to carry the same amount of speed as usual. Very difficult to adjust your driving. He's done that. We've seen a driver do that before and then suddenly lose the rear of the car. That, once again, is a problem for Zen on the exit of the final corner. And it could well be that Mr. Snebs find his way by before they even reach the braking zone of turn 1. Not quite, but that was all about one wheel on the dirt and the grass from Zen. Just watch for this small little chunk of dirt being kicked up. And then it was just a case of lifting off, rubbing against the barrier and giving up the position. Mr. Snebs into 3rd place now. Can he possibly, with 1 3/4 minutes left to go, managed to get back onto the lead of the race. There's a yellow flag above these drivers right now, in front of these drivers. At the moment, that was a DPL car going backwards very quickly and off the circuit. I can't quite see who that was, but right now we need to focus on this battle for the podium. Junkai and Glovas lead the race, but Mr. Snebs has had the pace to own the front of our race so far here. Can he close a 2-second gap to the leader and overtake within a minute? That is a very, very big ask, and I think this will be the final lap. By the look of things, just 1 minute remaining to the drivers as they come through. They might just sneak out one additional lap, these top three, and it looks like TX has got ahead of Zen as well. So Zen, what is happening with Zen? He is dropping back very quickly. Has he realized his fuel isn't good enough? Or he's just feeling like he needs to play a blocker here to the ones behind? Time to pull a Schumacher-Damon Hill thing, says Larry. We don't allow for anything like that. We want a good clean fight, I'm sure. But Glovas in second position has Mr. Snebs breathing down his neck. They will go, the top three at least, for a final showdown lap here. Mr. Snebs has some extra time to go. So does TX Speedstars. Zen and Clyde Sparrow will have the extra time to run. Komakopa crosses the line with just 12 seconds remaining. Daddenson over as well. Here comes Saito and Preston over. They will finish in 9th and 10th positions respectively. Kat Damasi will be home in 11th. V-Cube is chasing down the drivers in front of him, but not for position. Moist will be at the back of the grid, but as things stand, this is the battle that we need to see for the podium. It's Glovas trying to hang on. It's underneath a 1/10 of a second to Mr. Snebs, who is almost pushing him around the knee, the front of the knee here. Feigns to the outside, cuts back to the inside. Glovas is absolutely crossed up, trying to hold off Mr. Snebs, and he can't do it. He's out wide. Snebs, what an overtake that was from Mr. Snebs. We've got to see that again before this race is done. Check this one out as he feints to the outside. He's almost pushing the car in front here. I'm going on the outside, and then cuts back to the inside. Glovas tries to cut across, but I think they ended up making a tiniest bit of contact there, as Glovas changing his line in reaction to what was happening. Frankly, I think that was all credit to Snebs on my view of things, but you never know until you see the replays from both drivers as they come through. It's John Kai who's only half a second in front. Chaotica says there was contact. There was contact, but was that because Glovas didn't leave enough room perhaps? We will wait and see in the stewards' inquiries later, but Junkai takes home the win ahead of Mr. Snebs. So a Deviant ahead of DPL, and then 3 Deviant cars, meaning that I'm pretty sure Deviant will win this one. Glovas, TX and Zen finishing ahead of Clyde Sparrow and Komakopa, with Dad and Son, the last driver home, on the lead lap. In P8. Saito in 9th, Preston in 10th place, with Kat Damasi in 11th, V-Cube in 12th, and Moist in the green machine, coming out of the final corner to be the final driver across the line. Junkai, Snebs and Glovas. Good to see different teams on the podium, you have to say. A very close and hard-fought battle there at the end of our race. I hope you'll forgive me. We'll go into the results and I will hightail Scarpa out of here because I've got to get my next stream ready. But congratulations to Junkai and to Deviant for securing the race 1 victory. Sorry, wrong button. Here's the provisional result. Junkai, so Deviant the first, 3rd, 4th, 5th and 7th cars, with DPL occupying 2nd, 6th and 8th. That for me, especially given the second page of results, means that Deviant secure the bragging rights going into race 2. So we will hopefully catch up on that. Good to hear from Guess and everybody else who've been enjoying watching with us. I hope to catch you further on more races. I'm about to head off to the SVR Racing channel. Race 2 will be underway here very soon, I'm sure. But from me, Webbo, from us at Deviant Racing, thank you so much for watching. We will catch you on the next race day.